Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Durham College's CRWC. We're about ready for the tip-off of the men's basketball with the Durham Lords up against the visiting Fanshawe Falcons. Got a playoff basketball here. Should be a great game. We had a great game in the women's basketball game. Let's hope we keep this one going. Should be a great contest against two very good teams. Do or die here, just like before.
The atmosphere here just a little while ago was electric.
Yep.
As the Durham Lords women's basketball team came back, they trailed through all three quarters of that one.
Yep.
Came back to win it 72-70 right in the last minute of play. Men's turn now as they get set to go off against the Fanshawe Falcons. Durham finished third in the OCAA East Division with a 14-6 record. Meanwhile, Fanshawe in a super competitive West Division finished fifth with a 13-7 record, tying with Redeemer but losing the tiebreaker, so they bumped down.
It's definitely going to be a great game here. And Dondre Huggins' big three. The starting lineup for the visiting Fanshawe Falcons is number 1, Carter Hathorthwaite. Number 3, Chris Parker. Number 5, Mohamed Alor. Number 22, Alfred Johnson. And number 23, Zach Soltis. The starting lineup for the Durham Lords is number 10, Brandon Halliburton. Number 15, Alberto Lopez. Number 21, Julian Hinkson Jr. Number 24, Dondre Huggins. And number 31, Shamar Lewis. Durham Lords started us off here with scoring.
Brandon Halliburton got the first basket, as we would almost expect, nailing the three on their first possession.
Fanshawe pushing the pace here.
We talked about it in the women's game. Even though this is a number 3 seed from the East against a 5 from the West, these two teams match up quite similarly.
Yep.
Durham getting 14 wins this season, Fanshawe getting 13. Not much of a difference once you get to that 3, 4, 5, 6 seed in the standings. So this should be a very evenly matched game.
Absolutely. The only thing I would say about Fanshawe is they are up for points for with 1,700 to Durham Lords 1,400. And a quick turnover there by the Durham Lords. Fanshawe pushing the pace here. Parker with drive. Good dump off to number 22, Alfred Johnson, using that 6'6" frame. Brandon Halliburton with the drive. Good rebound there by Parker.
It'll be very interesting to see how Durham deals with Johnson down low. You're looking at that big body inside. They can counteract with their starter, Alberto Lopez.
Oh, just unlucky roll on the layup.
But then once you get from Alberto Lopez, there's not too much size on the interior. You have Julian Hinkson in that 4 position.
Yep.
But they've really relied on some other guys, Shamar Lewis, Craig Hansen, a little undersized on the interior this year.
Absolutely, yeah. Craig Hansen's, like you said, undersized, but he's a hustle rebounder. Actually, only 2 players on the Fanshawe lineup that are under 6 feet. Good defense there by Huggins.
An opportunity here with a 3-on-1.
Halliburton with the Euro step and the floater. They just in and out.
And we saw that a little earlier in the women's game today. These rims have been unforgiving tonight. A few baskets that look like they're definitely going in, bouncing back out.
Yeah, like I said, just lady luck not on any team's side here. The rims just have a mind of their own tonight.
And here's an important matchup early.
Good up and under move there by Alfred Johnson.
Fanshawe with a few players looking like they'll be checking in soon, going to the bench quite early in this one.
Both teams have a pretty deep team, pretty deep roster. Alberto Lopez working in the paint, dumps it off to Shamar Lewis. Mid-range jumper, Lopez. And a miss. Rebound by Mohamed Alor. He's going to push the pace here for Fanshawe. Fighting through traffic. Easy floater by Mohamed Alor. Fanshawe Falcons now leading 6-3 in the early goings.
Their offense just diving into the paint, getting right into that interior. Look for them to try and take advantage of their size, of their speed, of their strength on the inside. Whereas Durham will need to look towards their versatility, their outside scoring with Halliburton and Huggins, their interior play with Lewis, Hinkson, and Hansen.
Absolutely. As it always is in the first quarter, it's just kind of figuring out the lay of the land. Good inbound play by the Lords.
Both of these teams a little familiar, a little rivalry building between these two teams. Fanshawe was the ones who knocked Durham out of contention for the OCAA championship last year. Durham has not qualified for their provincial tournament since 2014-15 when they won a provincial bronze.
And they're going to look to get that win here and get further into the playoffs. A little shake and bake there by number 8, Dondre Austin, and a miss in the layup. Good rebound by the Lords. Halliburton pushing the pace here, and one. Brandon Halliburton putting the Lords on his back here in the early goings of this game. Brandon Halliburton's going to go to the line.
Looking like James Harden, just lowering the shoulder, getting into contact before finishing off the three-point potential play.
Durham Lords now leading 7-6 with 5:50 remaining in quarter number 1.
Halliburton, an outstanding scorer, leading Durham with 22.2 points per game. That put him 8th in the province in scoring this year.
That's an absolutely phenomenal season for number 10, Brandon Halliburton.
He's a perennial scorer. He's averaged over 20 points a season through his 3 years with the Lords. He's one of only 4 players in the program's history to shoot to make over 1,000 total points in his Lords career.
And did it in only 3 seasons. Pushing the pace here. Fanshawe, great defense there by Huggins. A lot of offensive rebounds here by the Fanshawe Falcons, using that height to their advantage.
Huggins did a great job at the first attempt there from Fanshawe, not going right into the contact, but rather getting verticality up, forcing a tough shot from the Falcons, but offensive rebounds lead to opportunities.
Absolutely. And the foul is called on Dondre Huggins. Alfred Johnson shooting 2. Good on free throw number 1.
Alfred Johnson, a 60% free throw shooter this season through 20 games.
Also their second leading scorer with 10 points a game. And a miss on the second free throw. Offensive rebound, Fanshawe. Durham Lords leading 8-7. With 5 minutes left on the clock in quarter number 1. Ooh.
7 seconds on the shot clock.
Great turnover there. Stripping the ball away, Julian Hinkson Jr. Brandon Halliburton with the ball now. Dondre Huggins with the big 3. And a miss on the three-point bomb by Dondre Huggins. Good offensive rebound by Hinkson. And the charge called on Hinkson Jr. Good job by number 23, Zach Soltis.
Dondre Huggins with a couple misses early. We know he has a hot hand. If he starts knocking down that 3, he can hit 1, 2, 3, 4. He finished second in team scoring with 18.6 points per game. But really the most impressive part, 37.5% from three-point land.
Absolutely.
Like, that's where he wants to make his baskets. That's where he's dangerous.
He feasts on that three-point line. It's always a bit outside of the three-point line. He likes to shoot from deep, but he's got the length where he can hit it.
We talked about it a little earlier. Craig Hansen has checked in for Alberto Lopez. So we'll see what that does to the interior game for this matchup.
Absolutely. Craig Hansen, the spark plug off the bench for the Durham Lords. Earlier was a mid-range pull-up good by Parker.
A little before that, Kadeem Buckley came in for Shamar Lewis. Both teams trying to utilize their bench.
Great ball movement here by Fanshawe, leaving Parker wide open for 3. Offensive rebound, Parker put it up again. Another miss on the 3 by Parker. Ball out of bounds, last touched by Fanshawe, number 22, Alfred Johnson.
Coach Rowley asking about that one, as it looks like Hinkson got a hand on it, but then it was knocked out by Johnson. Unfortunately, the call will go the other way, and Fanshawe will have another chance here.
Oh, wow. Good amount play by Fanshawe, but great defense there by Julian Hinkson, just keeping the hands up.
You can see Fanshawe just trying to force a foul with the flail. Not really a natural human movement when you get hit, and the refs weren't going to fall for it.
That's one thing I love about how basketball's kind of changed over the years. There's not as much flopping. You know, refs are really starting to call stuff like that. And a push called.
The flailing won't cut it anymore. They're looking for the solid contact on the arms, pushes on the back.
Absolutely. Dondre Huggins inbounding. Oh, just right up top to Hinkson Jr. He's going to fight through traffic. Ball last touch by Fanshawe. Durham Lords ball here.
Now Hinkson looking for the call. Either way, the refs are going to let both these teams play here today.
I'd like to see that for playoff basketball too. Just let the boys play.
Halliburton got into a little trouble there, committing to the shot before knowing if he was going to be open. Fanshawe coming quickly back the other way.
Big defense there by Hinkson Jr. A lot of ball movement there by the Fanshawe Falcons, just finding that open man. Craig Hansen with the drive, and the big swat by Alfred Johnson. Ball last touched by Fanshawe.
Chael Stevenson will come check in for Julian Hinkson, who's done a great job through this first quarter so far.
Yeah.
A lot of weight is going to be on his shoulders today with the size differential between the two teams, and he's a veteran that they really rely on.
Yep.
Just has to make sure to stay out of foul trouble. Shamar Lewis coming in for Dondre Huggins as well.
It's interesting that they have Chael Stevenson, a forward, playing a lot of like the 5, trying to get that small ball lineup. Buckley calling out plays here for the Lords,
9
putting the
seconds
moves
on the shot clock.
Good recovery. Halliburton, 3 in the miss. Big rebound there by number 13, Hanani Ujulu.
So defensively, the Lords have 2 of their stalwarts out here right now, Shamar Lewis and Craig Hansen. They do a great job of getting into passing lanes, especially with those long limbs.
Absolutely. Defensive menaces on the court for the Durham Lords. Halliburton on Parker. That's going to be a matchup I think we're going to be seeing a lot tonight. Brandon Halliburton on number 3, Parker.
Gets called for the shot clock violation. A little too much shimmy and shake to try and get free of Brandon Halliburton.
Great defense there by Halliburton.
We've seen him check down a few guys not too long ago when Lassiter was in town.
Yep.
He was the #1 defender for the Lords, going one-on-one with Lassiter's lead guard. Durham came away with their first game hitting over 100 points in that one.
It was a phenomenal game. Brandon Halliburton wide open in the corner and a missing 3-point bomb. Chael Stevenson can't quite corral that rebound. And with 2:20 remaining in quarter number 1, oh, good spin move. And the offensive rebound, the putback good by number 23, Zach Soltis.
It seems like every time Fanshawe puts a shot on net, there's at least 2 guys under the basket waiting to try and get an offensive rebound.
Absolutely, they're going to capitalize on that. They're going to use that height to just corral all these offensive rebounds. And the 3-point corner bomb good by Shamar Lewis.
That was a full outstretched 3 on that one. He really had to get over top of the defender to get an easy look at the basket there.
Scores now 11-11. Just over 140 in quarter number 1. Blocking foul. Josiah Deere subbing in.
Josiah Deere, one of the guys that joined the roster after the winter break. We were surprised to see how much playing time Coach Rowley gave him right off the bat, but a lot of faith in this first-year player.
And he's making good on that faith.
He joined the team along with Dondre Huggins after the winter break. Dondre Huggins had played 2 previous seasons, so he was familiar with the system, which just makes it even crazier when you see Josiah Deere get as much time as he does, but he's made a difference. He was an impact player in the Lord's last win.
Oh, absolutely. He's got that length as well, where he can just shoot the 3. He's a nice 3-and-D player. He's still young, too, so he's still got lots of room to grow. Foul's called on the Durham Lords. And shooting 2 is number 11, Salim Bagabi. Score still 11-11 with 1:30 on the clock.
90 seconds left in this first quarter. Fanshawe is at 14 fouls.
Good rebound there by Craig Hansen. Durham Lords are going to push the pace here and slow it right back down. Good defense here by Parker. Craig Hansen for 3. And a miss on 3-point bomb by Craig Hansen. Fanshawe pushing the pace. Mid-range jumper by Parker. And a lucky roll on the rim. Bucket good by number 3, Chris Parker.
That's one of the nice rolls from the rim we've seen today. Not too many times that's happened so far here at the CRWC tonight.
Yeah, like we said, the rim's been quite unforgiving tonight here for both the women's and the men's basketball team. Good ball over here by the Lords. Craig Hansen with the drive and using the backboard. Craig Hansen.
A great play from Hansen. Again, an undersized player, but he went right into the contact.
The miss on the three. Good rebound by Josiah Deere. Game clock, a couple seconds ahead of the shot clock. Good screen there by Hansen. Oh, great ball movement. Oh! Fortunate bounce off the rim. Offensive rebound, Fanshawe. Oof.
Lots of contact. Durham is not going to give up an easy basket with only 3 seconds remaining in that first quarter.
Yeah, certainly not giving up anything easy. Going to the line for two is number one, Carter Hathornwaite.
77% free throw shooter.
Score's tied at 13-13 with 3 seconds on the clock in quarter number one. And Hathornwaite good on free throw number one. And good on free throw number two. Just a bit too much on that pass. Turnover, Durham. Fanshawe Falcons leading 15-13 with 2.5 seconds remaining.
Fanshawe looking for a clock adjustment as they don't think anybody touched that, but the officials speaking with the table, see if the change is made. And we'll actually go the other way, 2.2 seconds.
Interesting. And right at the buzzer, Parker put it up.
I believe the official was saying on the inbound it was hit off the hand as it was thrown all the way down the court. So the clock did start once it hit that hand. Either way, nothing comes at the end of it. Fanshawe up 15-13. A good first quarter of action both ways.
Absolutely. Very back and forth for both teams. But Fanshawe Falcons leading 15-13. And we're right back for this short intermission break with quarter number two. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Durham College's CRWC. Fanshawe Falcons starting us off here. Timeout break.
So following that first quarter, the real difference so far, the thing that has Fanshawe up 2 points starting this second quarter has been the rebounding. Durham was out-rebounded in that first quarter, 16-11. And then on top of that, Fanshawe picked up 7 offensive rebounds. So that's second chance opportunities right there.
Absolutely.
Play is stopped.
Good to see everything seems to be okay.
And we'll get the action started back up.
Getting physical all over the place here.
Got to be careful with those courtside seats.
Julian Hinkson inbounding to Brandon Halliburton. Fanshawe leading 15-13 here. And a turnover by Durham Lords. Fanshawe just forcing that steal. And Halliburton getting right back. acting like a DB out there, getting that interception. And another quick turnover. I think both teams need to just slow it down a little bit. Alfred Johnson dumps it off to number 23, Zach Soltis. Miss on the 3. Brandon Halliburton's going to push the pace now for the Durham Lords. Oh, and the big layup in contact and one. Brandon Halliburton.
We saw that in the first quarter as well. He's a perennial scorer. He is an offensive weapon. He will do what it takes to get his team on the board, tying the game 15-15 right now while heading to the charity stripe.
Yeah, he's one of those players. He puts a team on his back, whether it be offense, defense. He just wants that W. Halliburton looking to capitalize on that and one. And an in and out. Miss on the free throw. Parker pushing the pace now for Fanshawe. Dumps it off to Hawthorne. A step back. Gets his own miss.
It's another offensive rebound for the Falcons. But Julian Hinkson just rips it away from him.
And a little shake and bake Euro step by Shamar Lewis. And Lewis is good on the layup. Durham Lords now leading 17-15 here in quarter number 2.
Getting a little mojo on both ends of the court right now, offensively and defensively.
Absolutely. Oh. Just leaving him in his dust was Parker.
Some physical action down low. We mentioned how important that battle inside was going to be between Alfred Johnson and the likes of Alberto Lopez and Julian Hinkson.
And with 8:21 remaining in quarter number 2, score is 17-17.
Alfred Johnson, a 4-year veteran, 6'6" from London, Ontario. He knows how to play in the paint, so the Lords will need to find some good matchups for him.
Parker with fast break drive here. Oh, great defense there by Halliburton.
I've been really impressed from Brandon Halliburton so far in this game. He's known for his offensive play, but throughout this entire first half so far, he's been a shutdown guy on Parker.
Absolutely. He's really stepped up in the second half of the season here on his defense. At the start of the season, it was all offense, and now he's doing it on both ends of the floor, and that's what you want in your all-star player, is someone to hustle on offense and defense. Good pump fake there by Parker. And a fadeaway good by Chris Parker.
That's the Falcons' offensive weapon right there, getting into the paint, getting the mid-range jumper.
He's averaging a whopping 23 points a game. And Josiah Deere putting the moves on. Dumps it off to Julian Hinkson and gets the and one.
A questionable call there, as it looks like the defender was in the restricted area.
And they're going to call
Coach Rowley asking about it.
Wow.
That's a tough one, as Julian Hinkson made a good move to get a drive. It looked like Fanshawe was really deep in the key.
I definitely did not think that was going to be going the way it did.
Coach Rowley's making a case about it right now. But typically once the call's made, the officials aren't going to go back on it.
There's not too many reversals in basketball here. Fanshawe with the ball now with 7:30 on the clock in quarter number 2, up at 19-17. Parker, big three.
That's a tough one for Hinkson, as it gives him 2 fouls early, and he's going to be the primary stopper on these big interior players of the Falcons.
You definitely don't want to see him get into foul trouble, because they don't have many other guys that can, like you said, combat that height. Good switch there by the Fanshawe Falcons. Huggins, the bomb, and in and out. Alfred Johnson with the rebound. Fanshawe pushing the pace here. And a good steal there by Hansen. Huggins driving, and a foul called on number 1, Carter Hawthornthwaite.
And that may have been a very good foul, as Huggins was going to have the opportunity to send it over to Hinkson for a wide open layup. Instead of giving Hinkson the layup, they'll put Huggins at the line.
Yep. And a timeout call by the Durham Lords.
They'll use this timeout to substitute Hinkson out for Lopez, who will have to come back in and defend the likes of Alfred Johnson.
It's been a little bit of a mismatch here for the Durham Lords. Just that height is just something that the Durham Lords cannot really combat. Only having, like you said, 2 guys that are really the only ones that can match up well against them.
Well, it's going against the number of players that Fanshawe can throw out there, too. Like Alfred Johnson, one of their top offensive threats, a veteran player. But on top of that, you have the fifth-year Lex Van Ipperen, second-year Hanani Ajulu.
Yeah, they've got some great height and length as well.
Third-year Zach Soltis, who we've mentioned a few times already. Like, they have the bodies on the interior that Durham can't necessarily match right up with.
Yep.
But that's where scheme's going to become so important. That's where moving around and communicating well is going to be so important. That's where the likes of Shamar Lewis and Craig Hansen, who we've mentioned, who offer that kind of versatility, can hopefully throw off Fanshawe's game plan, as we've seen a little bit so far.
Absolutely. We'll see what both teams come up with here out of that timeout break. Fanshawe Falcons leading 19-17 with 6:51 left in quarter number 2.
As we come back out, it will be Huggins on the inbound, as it was not a shooting foul.
And let's see what they come up with for this inbound play. Still got 21 on the shot clock. Halliburton put the moves on. Good screen by Hansen. And the 3, Halliburton. And a miss on the 3-point bomb by Brandon Halliburton.
In that 2-man game, we've seen be quite effective. Hansen and Halliburton working together with the screen and roll or pop. Just not getting enough separation there.
DeAndre Austin with the ball. Dumps it off to Muhammad Allure. And a turnover, Fanshawe.
Great defense that time by Lopez on Johnson.
Huggins with the drive, the spin. And can't quite get it in contact.
I don't know if this is the game Durham wants to necessarily play. I understand driving into the lane, but you're driving into the Twin Towers down there. Lots of bodies. You're getting into some real buildings.
I'd say so. There's skyscrapers out there. Let's just say that. And that's just it. You want to find that smart shot. You don't want to force a shot, a bad shot. You want to pass the ball around, look for that open shot. It's all about playing smart here in a do-or-die game like this.
Hansen with some good defense there to tip the ball out of bounds.
Hansen's just such a great player coming off the bench. He's going to give you stats everywhere. And Parker just stepping out of bounds. Oh, the block and foul called on Brandon Halliburton.
A little push there, getting a little aggressive with Parker. When you're committing this hard to defense as Halliburton has through the first half, you can excuse a foul like that.
Inbounding for Fanshawe is number 8, DeAndre Austin. Parker stumbling, but catches a mid-range pull-up good by number 3, Chris Parker. Parker's having himself a great night here.
That puts him at 10 points on the night, but 5 of 14 shooting. They're making him work to get those baskets.
Definitely putting up quite a few shots here is Parker. And Fanshawe Falcons now leading 21-17 with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock in quarter number 2. Good screen there by Johnson. An offensive rebound there by Alfred Johnson. Turnover, Fanshawe. Huggins with the drive. And the bucket in contact, and one, Dondre Huggins.
I will stand corrected after the last thing I said. Maybe Huggins does want to get in there and jump in with those big bodies down low, because getting the end one, very effective right there to get right back in this game with 5:18 left in the second quarter.
Absolutely, just a great layup through contact. And good on the end one conversion. Lucky roll on the layup, or on the free throw, sorry. Score is now 21-20. absolutely neck and neck, back and forth here at the CRWC. Both teams they want this win. Oh, great pass. And a good pump fake there by number 22, Alfred Johnson.
And that's what Fanshawe can do when they get in the paint.
It's Huggins with the drive. And in contact again. Offensive rebound, Brandon Halliburton. Little stutter step. Calling for the screen. Huggins, big three. Oh, in and out on the three.
And they'll call Craig Hansen for the over.
Definitely not happy about that one. That's his first foul here. And with 4:39 on the clock, Fanshawe leading 23-20. Big drive here by Parker. And great rebound there by Huggins.
This is a different DeAndre Huggins we're seeing tonight. We're used to seeing him kind of out on the perimeter, causing some trouble out there, but he's really playing like a big man because they need him. They need that size.
Absolutely. And he's got the length. It's not like he doesn't have it.
6'5", third year from Scarborough.
He's been a great mid-season acquisition.
Well, just missing the fall semester. He did spend 2 seasons with the Lords. Yeah. Just missed that fall semester, was able to come back after the winter break. And as you mentioned, made a significant difference. There's a reason why the Lords were able to rattle off so many wins in this second semester, dropping only 1 game against the first place Seneca Sting.
Yeah, it's been a great second half of the season for the Durham Lords. Yeah, timeout called here with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in quarter number 2. Fanshawe Falcons leading 23-20. We're right back for this short timeout break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, in the CRWC. Chris Parker starting us off here with the Fanshawe Falcons. A little stutter step there by DeAndre Austin. The big defense there by Huggins.
An update from the road. The Durham College women's volleyball team, undefeated, playing in the OCAA championship semifinals, dropped the first set 25-19 versus Niagara. Ooh. They'll have to make that comeback as they're down 1 set right now, looking to try and get into the gold medal game.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see that. The women's volleyball teams just had an absolutely phenomenal season here. Ranked nationally. Couldn't ask for better than that from the volleyball team. And ball to bounce, last touch by Fanshawe. Score still 23-20 with 3:44 on the clock.
A low-scoring first half for these teams.
Absolutely.
As it's really been some defense going on. Blocks, rebounds, steals.
As they say, defense wins championships. Keem Buckley working along three-point line. Huggins, pump fake, baseline jumper, and the baseline jumper good by DeAndre Huggins. Having himself a great night here. Fanshawe only leading by 1 now.
Offensively, he's been effective a few different ways now, too. It's nice to see the versatility in his game. Hitting the mid-range, hitting the 3, doing the drive.
Oh, great pass by number 5, Muhammad Allure.
Once again, it's that interior passing of the Falcons. They get in the paint, they make a bucket.
A great play there by the Fanshawe Falcons. Bucket was scored there by number 7, Quick Duel. And there's what we usually see from Huggins. The bomb from Mississauga, Ontario. DeAndre Huggins for 3.
He doesn't make it any mystery to the officials. That's definitely a three-pointer when you're that far behind the three-point line.
I'd say so. Good pass there by Parker. And the steal by Craig Hansen. and they're going to push the pace here. Halliburton with the drive and the jelly roll. Brandon Halliburton. Durham is now leading 27-25 with just over 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2.
Such a smart move on the layup there. You could see the Falcons defender getting up to take away that left-handed layup. Halliburton just slips underneath and goes to the other side.
Slippery smooth, and the blocking foul called on Kadeem Buckley.
Durham now at 14 fouls with 2:12 remaining in the second quarter. Next foul will put the Falcons at the line.
Josiah Deere now subbing in for Kadeem Buckley after he fouled. Parker with the ball now for the Fanshawe Falcons. Mohamed Allure with the pump fake in the drive. And the good roll on the layup by Allure.
And
that's now tied up.
That's where Durham's just missing that interior presence right now. You have both Hinkson and Lopez on the bench, which opens up the paint drives right now for the Falcons.
Absolutely, another big three, and in and out on the three by Huggins. Oof. Craig Hansen, the hustle man. Look at that.
What an incredible play to reach over top of the defender to knock it off his feet.
I don't think anybody else would have done that but him. That was just pure hustle play there by number 22, Craig Hansen, just reaching over to the defender, just whipping the ball off him.
There's so many ways he contributes to the game, not necessarily when it comes to the points totals, but every single stat line. Other than that, he really causes some trouble. And Alfred Johnson coming out a little too far, getting a little too much contact on Halliburton will put the Falcons at 14 fouls.
Both teams with 4 fouls now with 1:36 on the clock in quarter number 2. Score is tied, 27-27. Halliburton with the mid-range dagger.
Sometimes it just looks so smooth the way he's able to get that separation, the little step back, and just the angle that he shoots makes it so difficult for defenders.
Yeah, he loves the between-the-legs step back. The big bucket there by Mohamed Allure. Score is now tied 29-29. With a minute left on the clock. Josiah Deere with the pump fake. A little bit of an errant pass there.
And that's a mistake you might see from the first-year player there, Josiah Deere.
Yep.
Making the pass without really looking to see who it was going to. Nobody was there to receive it.
Backcourt violation. Score is still 29-29 with 57 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Big drive here by Allure. And no basket. Foul's going to be called on number 22, Alfred Johnson. That's foul number 2 for him. That's going to put us in the bonus. Brandon Halliburton's going to be going to the line for 2 free throws.
72% free throw shooter. Not necessarily the guy you want to be fouling on that end when it's not really necessary.
Absolutely. And with 49.8 seconds on the clock in the first half, scores 29-29. And Brandon Halliburton missing on free throw number 1. And good on free throw number 2. Durham is now leading 30-29. Chris Parker pushing the ball up now for the Fanshawe Falcons. A great screen. Good switch defense there by the Lords. And Allure wide open for 3. Good rebound there by Hansen. 35 seconds left. Durham Lords up 30-29. Game clock 10 seconds ahead of the shot clock. Oh, and the steal by Allure. And the jelly roll good by number 5, Mohamed Allure.
They're not going to make this easy for Halliburton. Anytime he comes up, when he gets too close to those 2 top guards, they're going to come out and double him.
Good defense here by Parker on Halliburton. Craig Hansen for 3. And a miss on the 3-point bomb by Craig Hansen. And a last-second shot. Missed by Chris Parker. And at the end of the first half, the Fanshawe Falcons leading 31-30. What a low-scoring affair here, being a very defensive focused game.
You can't ask for a more evenly matched up game, though.
Oh,
Both
absolutely.
these teams defensively are putting in a ton of effort. Offensively are trying to figure things out. The 1 point difference. Chris Parker goes into the half leading the Fanshawe Falcons with 10 points. But that 10 points comes off 17 shots. So the Lords are definitely making them work. Brandon Halliburton leading the way for the Lords. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 5 of 11 shooting. Right behind him, Dondre Huggins with 8 points.
Yeah, they're both having a great game here. And we'll see what team pulls ahead in the second half. It's been very, very close.
When you look at the totals on the stat sheet, the one that really stands out, as I mentioned after the first quarter, is that offensive rebounding. That's where the Falcons have had the advantage. They've out-rebounded Durham on the offensive glass 9-3. So, but where Durham's been able to kind of keep that ground going is the three-point shot.
Yep.
Falcons haven't really attempted too many. They're not really looking for that. They know
they're working it into the paint.
They know where their strength is. It's inside the paint, whereas Durham needs to take advantage of the versatility they have.
Absolutely. It was a great first half here at the CRWC, and we'll be right back after this halftime break with the second half with the Durham Lords up against the visiting Fanshawe Falcons. back, ladies and gentlemen, after the halftime break to Durham College's CRWC for the second half of the men's basketball game with the Durham Lords up against the visiting Fanshawe Falcons. Falcons up by 1, 31-30 here to start us off.
This is the OCAA crossover qualifying game. A huge game for both teams. Whoever wins advances to the OCAA championship, hosted by Georgian College from February 28th to March 2nd in Barrie. An update from the road, the Durham Lords women's volleyball team competing right now in the OCAA semifinals. If they win, they're off to the gold medal game. They take set 2, 25-22 to draw all even. So it's 1-1 against Niagara.
Neck and neck for the women's volleyball team on the road. And starting off the scoring was the Fanshawe Falcons. And a travel called on Julian Hinkson Jr. Fanshawe Falcons now leading 33-30. Fanshawe Falcons #1, Carter Hawthornthwaite, the ball. Gonna work the ball along the three-point line.
Durham Lords moving to the zone right now.
A great pass and the big block there by Huggins. And a travel called on Alfred Johnson.
Looked like he wanted to go up for the shot, but just wasn't sure about it. Came back down. The correct call there with the travel. Fanshawe will press right now, trying to make life tough for Brandon Halliburton.
Yeah, it happens to a majority of the games here at the CRWC. They just put the pressure on right away.
We saw near the end of that first half, whenever Halliburton had the ball at the top of the three-point line, if he brought it over towards the middle, they would bring a second guard to double him.
Yep.
Look out for that.
And a floater, good by Alberto Lopez. Ref's giving about a little warning. Scores 33-32.
Season's
Fanshawe
on the line. It's going to get physical out there, so the officials want to have control of it right away, very early in this third quarter.
Absolutely, yeah, they want to nip that in the butt right away. Parker, pump fake. Oh, and the turnover. Good job there by Dondre Huggins, ensuring Durham Lords get that possession.
The zone working so far through these first two possessions. I don't know if Fanshawe was necessarily ready for it coming out of half, as we haven't really seen too much zone from the men's basketball team this season.
Brandon Halliburton with the ball now, putting the moves on Muhammad Alor. Shamar Lewis in the corner for three. Rebound by Chris Parker. He's going to push the pace now for the Fanshawe Falcons. Push called on Shamar Lewis.
And that might just be a call from the earlier confrontation between the two players involving Shamar Lewis. The referees are going to keep an eye on 31.
Absolutely. Parker inbounding now for the Fanshawe Falcons. Dumps it off to Alfred Johnson right in the paint. Smothering defense by the Lords. Good job by him to just kick that ball out to Parker.
Johnson almost doing what we saw a little earlier, throwing up the arms in the flail, but the officials not falling for it.
And the floater good by #3, Chris Parker. Fanshawe Falcons leading 35.
What an offensive weapon this guy is.
Oh, absolutely.
The speed, the mid-range shot, the floaters.
He's got a very all-around game. He's got the frame, too. He's kind of got that bulk to him where he can just muscle guys in the paint, but he's also got a silky smooth jump shot. Both teams hustling for that rebound. Alfred Johnson pulls it down. Big offensive rebound there by Johnson.
Who are they calling this one on?
I think they called that one on Julian Hinkson.
That's a surprising foul, as it appeared Johnson went over his back. Coach Rowley off his seat.
And Coach Rowley definitely not happy with that one. Inbounding for the Falcons is Chris Parker.
Coach Rowley will ask the official to come over and explain the call. As it, in all honesty, it looked like Julian Hinkson was just going up to try and grab that rebound. Granted, Alfred Johnson does have a few inches on him.
Yeah.
He is the one that bumped into the back to reach right over top. And really it forces Coach Rowley's hand to pull Hinkson early here in this third quarter, as that's his third foul.
In a little bit of foul trouble. But it's good to have a substitution like Craig Hansen coming in, a good defensive stopper that's going to give you that hustle and that energy off the bench.
This does force Alberto Lopez onto Alfred Johnson, though.
Ooh, the silky smooth mid-range jumper by Chris Parker. Was right in the face of the Durham Lords. Halliburton putting the Jets on. Huggins for three. And a miss on the three-point bomb by Huggins. Good offensive rebound and the floater by Shamar Lewis. Good. Fanshawe Falcons leading 37-34. And a three by Parker. And a miss. Good offensive rebound there by Zach Soltis. Oh, great pass by Parker to Johnson. And an unfortunate bounce off the rim. Good rebound there by Dondre Huggins. Score still 37-34 with 6 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. Oh, great pass there from Hansen.
What
Lewis.
a pass to find him there on the little give and go. It worked so well. Shamar Lewis just not able to finish it off, a little too hard off the glass.
Oh, just in and out on a corner three by Thornthwaite. Big offensive rebound by Johnson.
And this is the trouble that the Lords are going to have against the Falcons as they continue to rack up offensive rebounds, leading to this
wide
Chris Parker
open three.
Woo!
Wide open. There was no one even in the vicinity of Chris Parker for that wide open three, forcing the Durham Lords to call timeout. Fanshawe Falcons leading 40-34 with 5:52 on the clock in quarter number 3. We'll be right back to this short timeout break. Ladies and gentlemen, to the CRWC. Kadeem Buckley with the ball now. And the great combo guard of Buckley and Halliburton. Alberto Lopez working in the paint. Great defense there by Muhammad Allure to force that turnover. Oh, great pass by Thornthwaite to Zach Soltis.
Right back to it. Fanshawe causes so much trouble when they're able to drive and get into the paint.
Fanshawe Falcons now leading 42-34. Big rebound there by Parker off the miss by Huggins. Oh, Thornthwaite wide open for three and drills the three-point bomb. Fanshawe Falcons are absolutely climbing away in the third quarter here, now up by 11 points. With 4:50 on the clock, Fanshawe Falcons leading 45-34. It's been all Fanshawe here in quarter number 3. Brandon Halbert with the drive in traffic.
And Durham's offense just hitting a standstill right now. They're not really setting themselves up for opportunities. You can see Halliburton there having to drive it himself. The session before, it was Huggins driving in. They're not really moving the ball around, setting themselves up for an open look.
Absolutely. They're going to need to tighten this up if they want to keep this game competitive. Parker with the mid-range pull-up and nails it. Chris Parker is having a phenomenal night. Scores now 47-34 with 4 minutes on the clock in quarter number 3.
A big run right now from the Fanshawe Falcons. Coach Rowley, you can see going to the bench, sees that he is going to have to bring Hinkson back into this one, even though he has the 3 fouls.
And that's just another unfortunate turnover by the Durham Lords, and a wide open three for a Thornthwaite.
but not on the off. Once again, the Falcons on the offensive glass. Durham not looking to rebound. They're not getting active on the glass right now.
Oh, and the pull-up dagger right in the face of Kadeem Buckley. Chris Parker, ladies and gentlemen.
Coach Rowley not calling the timeout yet, not stopping this run right now. They'll continue to try and look to match with a basket of their own.
Yeah, you think they'd call a timeout, try and stop the bleeding a little bit.
And then instead, they're going to call the illegal screen on Craig Hansen. DeAndre Huggins got wide open on that one.
Fortunate call on Hansen there. But he's going to let his presence be felt on that screen.
Substituting in, Hinkson will come back in for Lopez. Those two have been the primary defenders inside the paint as the only true size for the Lords to try and counteract the interior play of the Falcons.
Fanshawe Falcons with the ball now leading 49-34 with 3 minutes left on the clock in quarter number 3. Zach Soltis through contact and one layup. Number 23, Zach Soltis.
You can just see the body language right now. Durham needs to do something. They need to get a timeout. They need to talk to their players, or they need one of the veterans to step up and bring everybody together and regroup right now.
Absolutely. Just corral the troops. Just say, hey, there's still time on the clock. We can pull this one back.
We already saw it earlier tonight when the women's basketball team, they got down 14 points.
Oof, yeah, that was a big deficit.
And they ended up coming back because really what really matters is those last few minutes.
Absolutely. Well, like we said at the halftime, it's 0-0 at that point, so.
One of the rare times they call the Falcons there on the hard defense on Brandon Halliburton. Number 5, Muhammad Allure, gets the call. He's been all over Halliburton in this third quarter anytime he's been bringing the ball up past half.
Yeah, he's on him right away. Fanshawe Falcons leading 51-34 with 3 minutes left on the clock in quarter number 3. Durham Lords really need to make something happen here if they want to climb back in this one. Ooh, good post move by Julian Hinkson Jr. He's just got such a hard spin move.
He was waiting to get off the bench. A third-year player. He's been there. He's been with this program. He was here with the team last year when they fell to the Falcons in this playoff game. Doesn't want to see it again.
This is also the last homestand for some of these players, too. This is their last chance to play at the CRWC. Oh, great move there by Chris Parker. But a big rebound there by Shale Stevenson. Durham Lords pushing the pace. Kadeem Buckley dumps it off. Good pump fake there by Halliburton. And the dagger 3 by Brandon Halliburton.
And there you go, the spark from Hinkson off the bench. And the ball will go out of the bounds off the leg of Alfred Johnson as there's a pileup.
It's going to be Durham Lords' ball. And with 2:15 on the clock, Fanshawe up 51-39. Hinkson trying to find the open man. Oh, ball just poked out there by number 5, Muhammad Allure.
Fanshawe continues to try and utilize that double. Anytime one of the Lords' offensive players kind of look for an ISO, whether it's Halliburton, Hinkson down low, or Huggins, they're sending that extra guard over to cause some extra pressure.
Absolutely, and it's working. Oh, great pass by Halliburton to Hinkson Jr.
And you saw it right there. The extra guards were looking at Halliburton, trying to time when they would go, and it leaves Hinkson wide open to drive down the lane. Another questionable foul coming against Hinkson on the defensive end, though.
That's going to be foul, what, number 4 for Julian Hinkson Jr. here.
It looked like he did whatever he could to get out of the way of that one, just putting his arms up and crossing the path of Johnson. But with his 4th foul, that will once again force him to the bench.
Alberto Lopez subbing in now for Julian Hinkson Jr. Alfred Johnson shooting free throws here for the Fanshawe Falcons.
The referees have been bouncing back and forth tonight. Early on, they really let these teams play against each other. Lots of contact down low. But in this third quarter, they've been bringing that whistle rather quickly on both sides.
Absolutely, just tightening everything right up. Free throw number 1 good by Johnson. And good on free throw number 2. Falcons now leading 53-41.
That's a tough blow to the team, too, as you saw Hinkson come in and really spark this offense. They had 3 successful offensive trips right after him coming off the bench.
Absolutely, and a miss on the three by Shale Stevenson. Lord's trying to make something happen here, score some points in a hurry. Only 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. Falcons up by 12. Chris Parker with the ball now for the Falcons. Oh, good pump fake. Alfred Johnson working in the paint.
And another foul called against the Lords inside the paint against the Falcons.
Foul's called on number 23, Shale Stevenson. That's foul number 1 for him. Alfred Johnson going to the line for 2.
It's 5 fouls against the Lords now in this third quarter with 1:14 to go.
A little bit of foul trouble here, putting the Falcons in the bonus. And good on one of the 2 free throws is Alfred Johnson. Falcons now leading 54-41, and a turnover. Big steal there by Johnson.
You're going to expect foul trouble when you're mismatched down low like the Lords are in this game.
Absolutely.
They have to play physical to try and counteract the size of the Falcons, but it's really not working well for them.
No, it's really not.
In this third quarter where the Falcons are really pouring it on.
Yeah, they've just been lighting it up in the scoreboard. Now up by 15 points here of the layup by number 2, Moses Orozco Rayo. And with 55 seconds on the clock, Fanshawe leading 56-41. Brandon Halliburton pushing the pace here for the Lords.
And again, the whistles continue to be quick in this third quarter. Lots of contact between the 2 teams, and the officials are cracking right down on it right now.
Brandon Halliburton going to the line for 2.
You saw it early in this quarter. There was a bit of jawing back and forth. The officials gave the warning, and from that point on, the whistles have been coming quick and steady. This game coming to a standstill.
Brandon Halliburton good on free throw number 1, and good on free throw number 2. Fanshawe now leading 56-43. 40 seconds left on the clock in quarter number 3.
That puts Halliburton at 17 points. They really need a secondary scorer to step up.
Parker, pull up 3, and a miss. Good rebound there by Alberto Lopez. 30 seconds left on the clock. Durham is going to try and get a nice 2 for 1. And the big 3, missed by Dondre Huggins. Foul called on Brandon Halliburton. It's going to send number 1, Carter Hawthornthwaite, to the line for 2. And with 21.8 left on the clock, Fanshawe Falcons leading 56-43. Shamar Lewis subbing in the game for Kadeem Buckley. Hawthornthwaite knocking down the first free throw. And good on free throw number 2. Muhammad Allure now subbing in for number 3, Chris Parker.
He'll come right out on Halliburton. They're going to bring him out to try and shut down him for this last 20 seconds.
Halliburton just slowing the clock down here. Just looking for that last second shot to end the quarter. And Allure was smothering defense. And the turnover forced. And the prayer put up at the last second. And after 3, the score is Fanshawe Falcons 58, Durham Lords 43.
A tough third quarter for the Durham Lords there. They were outscored by the Falcons 27-13. And really, it's been a complete team game for them so far. Chris Parker, 21 points. And then after that, you have Alfred Johnson, 10. Muhammad Allure, 8. Zach Soltis, 8. Hawthornthwaite, 7. They've really been chipping in from all over, trying to take advantage of their size inside the paint.
Absolutely. On
the boards, they've out-rebounded Durham 35-23. But the biggest difference has been on the offensive glass. They lead that category 15-4.
Wow.
in this fourth quarter, this fourth and final quarter, if the Lords want to continue their season, if they want to qualify for the OCAA championship, they're going to have to find some secondary scoring beyond Brandon Halliburton, whether it's Julian Hinkson surviving with that one foul remaining, whether it's Dondre Huggins starting to knock down some threes, Shamar Lewis, Craig Hansen chipping in. They really need to get that secondary scoring to get back into this game.
Absolutely. And it's going to be a great fourth quarter here at the CRWC. We'll be right back for this short intermission break.
Back in this start of the fourth quarter, the Falcons attacking, have a few opportunities there, but Alberto Lopez comes away with the rebound. We're back the other way.
Albert with ball now for the Lords. A little shake and bake, and the mid-range jumper good by number 10, Brandon Halliburton. 13-point game here at the CRWC in the fourth quarter of the men's basketball game with the Durham Lords up against the Fanshawe Falcons. Thornthwaite calling for the screen. And the illegal screen called on Alfred Johnson. Shamar Lewis inbounding now for the Durham Lords. And the pressure right on Halliburton right away. Shamar Lewis, three-point line. Gets the shake and bake going and just force a turnover. Chris Parker with the steal. Alfred Johnson, oh, can't quite get it. He wanted that dunk. Ball to bounds, last touch by Durham. Chris Parker inbounding now for the Fanshawe Falcons. Oh, my goodness. DeAndre Austin was wide open on the inbound play. Oh, great defense there by Dondre Huggins.
A few big misses there for the Lords as the Falcons aren't able to get the bucket in the net on a few chances there.
Fanshawe Falcons leading 58-45 here with 8:30 on the clock in quarter number 4.
8 seconds left on the shot clock here.
And ball last touched by Chris Parker. So 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Craig Hansen coming in for Alberto Lopez.
With a little bit of a small ball lineup here as Durham Lords.
The passing has been crisp right now, but they're not able to break through that defense of the Falcons.
Big drive here by Halliburton. Oh! Collision between two players here.
It will be interesting to see what the officials call on this one, as it looked like Shamar Lewis had the ball first.
Yep. Good to see both players all right. And the foul is going to be called on Fanshawe Falcons, Zach Soltis. That's going to be 2 fouls already here for Fanshawe. 8:17 on the clock, Fanshawe up, 58-45.
And that puts Soltis at 4 fouls in the game.
A bit of foul trouble for him. They're going to call another foul on Fanshawe here.
So this is an opportunity potentially presenting itself to the Lords, getting the Falcons into some early foul trouble in this third quarter. 3 team fouls, If they're able to get to the bonus early enough, they'll have some chances.
Absolutely.
To make up some ground with the clock stopping.
A big steal there by Mohamed Allure.
The pressure continues on Halliburton all the way up the court.
Now with a 15-point lead here in quarter number 4.
And the Lords just continue to find themselves in some quicksand offensively.
Just smothering defense here by Fanshawe.
And we'll get a tech on number 31, Shamar Lewis, after he was looking for the call.
That's just not something the Durham Lords want to see.
A misstep from Durham as they had the ball, they had a chance at the basket.
Unfortunate series there by the Durham Lords. Good to see Shamar Lewis kind of owning up to that one. Julian Hinkson Jr. subbing back in. Same with Kadeem Buckley. Subbing in for Shamar Lewis and Shale Stevenson. Chris Parker knocking down the first tech free throw. Make that both tech free throws. Score is now 61-45 with 7:49 left on the clock in quarter number 4. Durham Lords really need to make something happen here if they want to come back in this one.
They have some hot hands. You can't count them out as long as Halliburton and Huggins are out there.
Absolutely. Kadeem Buckley for 3. And money on the three-point shot by Kadeem Buckley.
A huge three-pointer from Buckley, who's traditionally this season really guided the offense, set players up, making some baskets of his own right now.
Absolutely. He's usually a guy that drives too, doesn't shoot too many threes. Good ball movement here by Fanshawe. And the floater, unlucky roll by Chris Parker.
Fanshawe all over the paint once again on that offensive opportunity.
Yep. And another turnover here by the Durham Lords. A little bit of an errant pass there by Halliburton.
The Lords coach is having to settle their players down right now, losing a bit of composure.
They're getting a little frustrated out here.
There's been some questionable calls throughout this game so far, kind of both ways, but a few noticeable against Hinkson Jr. earlier in the game. The out of bounds here. So Coach Rowley is going to be all over these officials for the final 7 minutes. Nobody wants to see their season end.
Absolutely. Inbounding for the Fanshawe Falcons, number 3, Chris Parker. Falcons leading 61-48 with 7:14 left on the clock, and they're just going to push the pace here. Just run up this scoreboard, and the bucket good by number 2, Moses Orozco Rayo.
Another 2 points in the paint for the Falcons.
And they're just putting the pedal to the metal here in quarter number 4 and just racking up the score. Score's now 63-48. Hinkson working in the paint. Big defense there by Fanshawe. And Julian Hinkson, the putback. Fanshawe now leading by 13 with 6:40 left on the clock.
And they really like to play inside out. They're all looking to try and drive in on the Lords.
Good defense there by Buckley, just poked that ball out. Last touch by Buckley. Falcons ball. Shot clock winding down. Mohamed Allure, great pass. And the shot clock reset. Parker for 3. And Mohamed Allure just coming in for the rebound and the putback. Number 5, Mohamed Allure.
That's 2 Lords players right there, though, just standing as the ball is coming off, kind of expecting the rebound to come to them, not attacking it off the glass.
Absolutely. And the bomb 3 from London, Ontario, Dondre Huggins.
That's what Durham needs right now. If Huggins can get hot from that spot, we've seen a few games this season where he loves that UOIT logo.
Parker with the ball now for the Fanshawe Falcons. Pull-up jumper and a miss.
And that's a call we've seen quite a bit in this second half, over the back.
This one called on number 13, Hunani Ujulu. Scores now 65-53 with 5:46 on the clock in quarter number 4. Kadeem Buckley with the ball now for the Durham Lords. Lords looking to make something happen to close this deficit down by 12 points here. Do or die, win and advance, lose and go home. And Huggins, the bomb! This one from Curtis. My goodness, Huggins has got just such a silky smooth jump shot.
They got to keep the defensive effort going, though. And there it is right there, Halliburton causing the turnover.
And the foul is going to be called on number 2, Moses Orzoko Rayo. Scores now 65-56 with 5:18 left on the clock.
And that's Fanshawe's 5th foul. So Durham will have the bonus with the last 5 minutes of this 4th quarter, whereas Durham only sitting at 1 team foul.
Absolutely, and that's a great way to get some points late in the game when you're down. Looks like a timeout's going to be called, and we'll be right back for the short timeout break.
Back in the 4th quarter, an update from the road. The Durham Lords women's volleyball team, currently competing in the OCAA Championship semifinal game, have dropped the 3rd set to the Niagara Knights, 25-16. So it puts them down 2-1. The winner of this match advances to the gold medal game. So Durham will have to win the next 2 in a row to get their
Absolutely
way.
coming down to the wire.
They've only gone 5 sets a few times this season, but they were undefeated heading into this match tonight.
Braden Halliburton sinking the first tech free throw. And good on free throw number 2. Scores now 65-58 with 5:18 left on the clock.
So it was a clear path foul, so Durham had 2 shots and they will have the ball.
Halliburton calling for a screen. Kadeem Buckley for 3. And a miss on the 3-point bomb by Kadeem Buckley. Good rebound there by Fanshawe Falcons. Chris Parker with the ball.
This is a guy the Lords need to stop right now. He's had a hot hand in this 2nd half, leading the Falcons with 22 points. They're trying to get the ball to Parker as much as they can.
Shot clock winding down. Good defense here by the Durham Lords. And they're going to call the foul on Dondre Huggins. And with 4:44 on the clock, Fanshawe Falcons leading 65-58. Chris Parker with the ball now for the Falcons. Good defense here by Durham. Alfred Johnson working in the paint against Julian Hinkson. And now going up for 2, the foul called on Craig Hansen.
Craig Hansen coming over late to try and help Hinkson. Just not getting there in time to provide enough help without causing the foul.
Alfred Johnson shooting 2 for the Fanshawe Falcons. Falcons up by 7.
He's 4
Make that
for
8.
5 for 7 from the free throw line tonight after that free throw.
And good on free throw number 2. Falcons now leading 67-58. Good job by Lewis to fight through that full court.
Durham will look to try and get this game within 5 for the last 2 minutes.
Working in the post is Hinkson, and gets his own miss, and the putback, Julian Hinkson Jr.
Such a physical body down there. He wants this so bad.
Big defense here by Halliburton. Oh, Thornthwaite thought about the 3. Great pass to Alfred Johnson. Big rebound there by Huggins. And they're going to call the foul on number 7.
That's a big defensive rebound for the Lords. They've been trying so hard to try and stop the Falcons on that offensive glass. They've dominated that side of the court through 3 quarters. Right now, they can't allow any more.
Absolutely.
So this is it right here. Huggins at the free throw line has the ability to bring this game within 5 points.
Yep. And Fanshawe Falcons now leading 67-60 with just under 4 minutes on the clock. Huggins good on free throw number 1. 6-point game here at the CRWC. And miss on free throw number 2. Let's see which team wants this one more. Neck and neck here. The waning moments of this game. Big defense here by Halliburton. A little bit of scramble to get that one.
That one looks tough for Halliburton as Parker falls right on top of him. He's going to need a second, as it looked like his left arm might have been trapped underneath there.
Good to see him get up under his own power. Score is 67-61 with 3:41 on the clock. Chris Parker now inbounding.
So they called the jump, so the arrow goes the Lord's way. They will take possession.
Definitely some luck there for the Durham Lords getting that call. Fanshawe Falcons still up by 6 with 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the game.
But the Falcons are at 5 fouls, so from here on, the Lords shooting free throws.
Yeah, Falcons definitely going to try and keep this one tight and not get even any more fouls. Smothering defense here by the Falcons.
9 seconds left on the shot clock. And there's another foul against Fanshawe, blocking.
Foul's called against Carter Thornthwaite, sending Kadeem Buckley to the line for 2.
Only a 50% free throw shooter, so we'll see what he can do from the stripe.
And a miss. Oh, a miss on the free throw by Kadeem Buckley. That one looked like it might have gone in off that lucky bounce. And Buckley missed on free throw number 2. Just scrambled to get that one. Here's Huggins with the bomb. And the bomb 3 by Dondre Huggins.
He's been on fire in this second half. That's his 3rd three-pointer in the half.
It's now a 3-point game here. 1-possession game in the CRWC. Chris Parker with the drive and the miss. Big rebound by Craig Hansen. 3 minutes left. 3-point game. Oh!
And another foul against the Falcons, an ill-timed reach-in.
That was a hard foul from Carter Thornthwaite, sending Julian Hinkson to the line for 2. Whew.
And this is what the Lords needed. You hit the 3, and then you get right back to the free throw line. With the clock stopped, the gap is closing.
And a miss on the first free throw by Hinkson.
Hinkson, a 56% free throw shooter.
Score is 67-64 with 2:58 left on the clock. And good on free throw number 2. 2-point game here.
And we saw it earlier in the night with the women's basketball team. The men looking to duplicate the same result.
It's absolutely coming down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. It's exciting basketball here at the CRWC. Parker, mid-range jumper, and good on the mid-range jumper, Chris Parker.
He's been lethal from the top of the key, right at that spot.
Kadeem Buckley with the ball now for the Durham Lords.
That's got Parker's 30th shot of the night.
Oof. Very high volume. Halliburton with the ball now for the Lords. Huggins thought about that 3. He's looking for that foul. Good offensive
the
rebound.
Shot clock, he never made it to the rim.
That's unfortunate, shot clock violation. So the refs are going to talk this one over a little bit. Looked like it might have got hacked a little bit on that shot.
Huggins looking for the contact, though. I can understand the officials not necessarily giving him that one.
And with 2:14 left on the clock, Fanshawe leading 69-65.
The Lords still hold the foul advantage in this half right now, though. Fanshawe gets into any trouble, it puts Durham right at the free throw line.
And with a 4-point game, you can't be sending the team to the line like that. Thornthwaite with the drive, the fadeaway, and the miss. Good rebound there by Huggins. Durham Lords need to make something happen fast here if they want to come back in this one. Under the 2-minute mark here, down by 4. Halliburton smothered, dumps it off to Hinkson Jr. Oh, and almost gets the and one. Julian Hinkson Jr. going to the line. Foul called on Carter Thornthwaite.
And that will be his 5th foul. He will check out of the game.
Hinkson Jr. going to the line for 2.
A few players for the Falcons really nearing that 5-foul limit. Moses, Orazio Rayo at 4, Zach Soltis at 4, Alfred Johnson at 3.
Oof. And like we said, can't be fouling like that late in the game like this. You're in the bonus, only up by 4. .142 left on the clock.
Similar situations on the other side, though. It's been surprising to see how long Julian Hingson's been able to survive with that 4th foul. Craig Hansen also at 4 for the Lords.
And the first free throw good by Julian Hinkson.
We've seen a similar tale to this from the Lords earlier in the season as they were able to come back against the Loyalist Lancers with free throws.
And a miss on the second free throw by Hinkson Jr.
In and out, that rim.
Smothering defense here by the Lords. Muhammad Allure with the ball now.
They'll look to try and kill some time, though. Clock down to 12 on the shot clock.
Absolutely, only a 1-possession game here. Fanshawe up 69-66.
Right to their guy, Parker.
And the floater by Parker. Big rebound by Johnson.
And they're going to call the push on the back. The Durham Lords will take possession.
Wow, big call. And with 1:14 left on the clock, it's only a 3-point game.
Puts him on the line.
Oh my goodness, this foul trouble, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's Soltis. He'll go out now with 5 fouls.
That's 2 players now fouled out for the Fanshawe Falcons. They're definitely not pleased about that one. Dondre Huggins now going to the line for free throws.
Falcons coach Tony Marcotulo really giving the officials an earful as that 3rd quarter, when the officials were calling everything very tight, coming back to bite his team.
Subbing in for the fouled out player is number 13, Hanani Ojulu.
They're definitely not giving up any size with this substitution, though.
He's definitely got some height, that's for sure. Huggins for the line. And a miss on the free throw by Huggins.
It's been some trouble down the stretch. They're giving away some points here from the free throw line.
Absolutely. Hey, if they made all these missed free throws, they would be up right now.
Shooting just 58%.
And Huggins good on free throw number 2. It's now a 2-point game here, ladies and gentlemen.
One more
Smothering
stop
defense.
and you give yourself an opportunity.
The
Lords have some fouls to give as well.
Oof.
They can play a little physical here. Hinkson has to be careful though. Another hook.
And the big layup by Alfred Johnson. And a tech called on Kadeem Buckley.
That's such a poorly timed call. You could see the frustration. I don't think he necessarily understood what he was doing when he slammed the ball. Unfortunately, it's right in front of an official. They're going to call that.
Unsportsmanlike. Fortunate call there for the Durham Lords.
Before that, though, the Falcons were able to feed the ball down low to Alfred Johnson, who's been a force in the paint. But for the second time in a row, I can see where Hinkson's complaint is coming from.
You can see the hook.
That left hand is coming around to hook around him, and really there's nothing that Hinkson Jr. can do because he's sitting at 4 fouls. He can't combat that in any way.
You just got to sit there and take it. Put your hands up, sit there and take it.
And traditionally, that may be a foul called against the offensive player, but the official's not seeing it that way right now down the stretch.
And we're in a tightly contested game like this, only down by 4. Can't be doing stuff like that.
That Buckley tech, though, may come back to haunt them right now.
I think you might be right on that one.
We'll see what happens when the teams come back. The Lords have done a lot to get themselves back into this game. Secondary scoring coming from Huggins, nailing 3 3-pointers to really bring them back into this one. They've done a good job. Hinkson Jr.'s been excellent in staying on the court with 4 fouls.
Absolutely.
And he's been excellent underneath getting offensive rebounds for the Lords. They've done everything they could to get back in this one with only 58 seconds left in this game, the winner advancing to the OCAA championship.
Absolutely. Just been a great fourth quarter here for the Durham Lords. And with 58.7 seconds left, Fanshawe Falcons leading 71, Durham Lords 67.
Chris Parker will go to the free throw line to shoot 1 free throw, and then the Falcons will have the ball.
He's an 85% free throw shooter. And good on free throw number 1.
Puts this one back to a 5-point game, so 2 possessions, and it puts the Lords at 4 team fouls. So from here on out, it's bonus either way.
Yep. Huggins inbounding for the Lords. I think they're just going to try and get Huggins open on the 3. Halliburton open on the 3. Corner 3, Halliburton, and the miss. Rebound, Alfred Johnson.
They're saying they need a foul, but it can't be Hinkson. He's got 4, and he can't check out right now.
Good ball movement here by the Fanshawe Falcons, just putting the icing on the cake here. Craig Hansen pushing the ball now for the Durham Lords. Huggins, big 3, and a miss on the 3-point bomb by Huggins. Good rebound there by Parker, but just mishandle. Last touch by Durham. And a tech.
Durham collapsing at the end of this
game. And that's 2 techs. I think he's gone.
Julian Hinkson was going to be out either way with it being his 5th foul. So on the way out, he was going to give the referee an earful.
Definitely not how he wanted his last game here at the CRWC to go.
The crowd showing their displeasure for the officiating in this one.
And their
tough
love
one
for
in
Julian
front
Hinkson.
of the home crowd. Julian Hinkson, a very beloved player here for sure.
Absolutely. And subbing in for Julian Hinkson is Alberto Lopez. 29 seconds left on the clock. Fanshawe Falcons leading 74-67. Chris Parker's going to be shooting the techs. Miss on the free throw by Parker.
He'll shoot for the 2nd technical foul right now, and then the Falcons will have the ball on the inbound.
And good on free throw number 2.
Actually, he will shoot the 2 techs, but now we will also have the 2 fouls for the bonus.
Oof.
So it turns into a 4 free throw swing.
It's an unfortunate series for the Durham Lords in the late going of this game. Just giving up some of those fouls and some of these techs. Good on the free throw. Scores now 76-67. And Parker good on free throw number 4. Team Buckler going to push the ball down to the Durham Lords here. Huggins, Prayer. The big rebound there by Alfred Johnson.
And that will be number 5 on Craig Hansen. So he will have to check out of the game now as well.
And we're going to go with the free throw line for 2 more. Alfred Johnson, he's shooting free throws for the Fanshawe Falcons. Fanshawe Falcons with a 10-point lead here. What a way to close the game.
It kind of sucked the air right out of the place. We had something good going between both teams, a really close game, and then all of a sudden you lose your composure, officials get involved in the game, and the outcome changes entirely.
Absolutely.
This last minute of play.
It's weird what can happen in a minute. Free throw number 1 good by Alfred Johnson.
Chael Stevenson checks in for Craig Hansen.
And free throw number 2 good.
Fanshawe will bring in a couple of their own substitutions to end out this game with only 20 seconds remaining. I wouldn't be surprised here if the Lords just kind of inbound it and let the clock go.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Still with the full court press here for the Fanshawe Falcons. Halliburton's just going to put the mustard on. And a pull-up 3. And a miss on the pull-up 3 to end the game.
That will be it. 10 seconds left. Falcons will just have to get over half. And they will advance to the OCAA Championship hosted by Georgian College next weekend in Barrie, Ontario.
It's a great set of games here at the CRWC. Women's team able to advance. Unfortunately, the men's team just can't capitalize.
What a second half of the season for the Lords, too, to even get into this position.
Absolutely. Winning
every game except for one in 2019. Coming into the playoff round as the 3rd seed in the East Conference with a 14-6 record. Very commendable, very great season for this team. Brandon Halliburton, scoring leader on the team, great way to go out. Even though we saw Hinkson leave tonight, he's been a leader for this team all season long.
Absolutely, he was one of the outspoken leaders of the Durham Lords, just a very hustle player. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
Fanshawe leading the way tonight. Chris Parker with 28 points.
Wow.
3 assists, 6 rebounds, 11 for 31 shooting. Meanwhile, on the other side, Halliburton led the way with 22 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds on 7 of 16 from the floor.
Great game. Great season for the Durham Lords.
I'm just going to look up the volleyball right now
to
see where we're at
there. Absolutely. We got some volleyball action going on here, too, for Durham. Playoff action for them. They're looking to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
At the Women's Volleyball OCAA Championship, competing in the semifinal round, the Durham Lords will be competing for bronze tomorrow as they fall in the 4th set to the Niagara Knights, 25-18, their first loss this season. It's been an incredible year for them. Hopefully they come home with a provincial medal.
Absolutely. Great to see them still being able to compete for one of the prizes, one of the top 3. Great season for the women's volleyball team. And thank you so much for joining us this season here at the CRWC. It was a great time with lots of great games, lots of good action here. Fortunately, the men's basketball team losing to the Fanshawe Falcons 79-67. We'll see you next time.